Let me be your leader.
China. It's big. It's like really, really big. Like from the outside at first, you're like, whoa. And then like you get inside and it's totally bigger. Like, should something be this big? Like, this is like really different. Like, it's totally large. And not just big, but long and old, but new, but really long and big. Take the city that we live in, Chongqing. It's about the size of Austria and can claim to be the largest city in the world. It can claim that because it's so big. I wouldn't want to fight Chongqing. In fact, I bet my city could beat up your city. But it probably wouldn't, because Chongqing is really cool. Actually, it's not like really cool in the summertime. It's like the hottest. It's probably the hottest city. It's probably the hottest, biggest, longest city in the world. Like an enormous spicy sausage. That's probably why we moved here. Before Chongqing, we lived in 𝗖𝗵, which was like a small spicy sausage. And that was good. But we wanted to live in a big sausage so that we could rub it in people's faces. Some lesser cities like to take pot shots at Chongqing, like it's unsophisticated. But go ahead and say that to Chongqing's face. You'll probably get punched. Anyway, we lived in the small sausage of 𝗖𝗵 for about 4 years. Most of that time was spent living in the countryside outside the city. As the years passed, we grew stronger. We foraged for traditional Sichuan dishes in the nearby villages. We played games with the neighborhood children in the streets after dinner, and were often chased home through the fields by wild dogs and tractors. The guards to the high school campus at which we taught told us it wouldn't be easy for them to protect us, but we were scamps. On the weekend, we'd pack our small bags and take a bus or fly to the big cities like Chongqing, Chengdu, Qingdao, Shenzhen, Guangzhou. Other times, we'd proceed further into the forests of Sichuan, or even burn ourselves on the beaches of Sanya. Sometimes, in the big cities, we would see other foreigners. In our small sausage town, we rarely ever saw anyone like us. We began to become very strange as we realized we could no longer talk to other adults in our native tongues without sounding like idiots. So, you're from Australia. That must be nice. Do you have weather? After 4 years, we'd grown so bold, we decided to move to Lijiang to frolic with the turnips in the reservoir. We thought we would become true mountaineers, commuting to work in a traffic jam of our neighbors' goats, waving to the eagle, llama, and turkeys as the morning shit buckets on bang sticks were delivered to the outhouse. Unfortunately, we were poisoned by the lethargic corruption of other local foreigners. We didn't even make it the full year and returned to 𝗖𝗵, happier, healthier, and stronger. Well, not actually stronger. We took a beating financially, mentally, physically, but we were wiser. Well, not actually wiser. I drank myself into a 2.5-month stay at a hospital, almost dying while Emily raked in the big bucks, letting kindergarteners climb all over her. Then, something amazing happened. As Emily nursed me back to health, she started to save money that we would later use to buy equipment. Computers, RAM, hard drives, cameras, audio interface, microphones, lights. We began to practice filming and telling stories about our exciting life as foreigners in China. We became vloggers. Just like all the other expats on YouTube. But by then, we realized that it was far too late. We're writers, illustrators, designers, artists, composers. Back home, we worked in the media, animation, comic books, films. We're not good as tour guides or amateur service journalists. We're not vloggers. We're storytellers. And to tell the stories that we want you to hear, we're gonna have to make films. And so we began to write and practice our craft and save our money until it was time to move to big China. But not any old large China. We wanted the city that claimed to be the biggest. Maybe Chongqing doesn't have the international panache of other cities in China, but it's got character. It's got balls. It's got charisma, and it looks damn good on film. We first came to Chongqing in 2011 to see the Chongqing Punk Festival at Nuts Club. We didn't know it then, but one day we were going to move to Chengdu or Chongqing. And you know why we chose Chongqing? Because it's an underdog. It's strange. It's different. Its personality is unique. It looks, smells, and thinks different. Chongqing doesn't need to impress you. You're Chongqing's bitch. So we got to work. Emily settled in to a professor gig at the medical university, and we began to explore. Soon we realized we needed to find local talent to be in our films. Naturally, as the hilarious individuals that we are, Emily decided to infiltrate the local comedy club scene. We were delighted to find that her fellow comedians were just as strange and twisted as this 3D upside-down city we now found ourselves in. The city that claims to be the biggest, the longest, the tallest. It's really... Hey, look, I don't really give a shit why China is so damn big. It's where I've lived for 12 years. It's kicked my ass and it's saved my life. I hope I can spend many more years here working with Chinese artists and international alike. We have a lot of stories to tell. And if China will let us, we're going to be telling them from Chongqing for a long time.
China